What is a smart city? You've probably heard of the term smart city lately, but what is it exactly? A smart city isn't just a concept or a dream of the future. Thanks to the advent of IoT, Internet of Things, tools and solutions, along with the revolutionary 5G, multiple smart cities are already active and expanding rapidly. From New York to Amsterdam, Singapore, and Copenhagen, local officials are utilizing cellular and low power wide area network LPWAN wireless technologies to connect and improve everything from convenience and infrastructure to efficiency and quality of life for millions of residents. Let's dive into the fascinating world of a smart city. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of City Kiwi. How you doing today? I hope you are doing fantastic. I'm doing marvelous. If you are doing as great as I am, go grab a cup of coffee or tea or vodka and let's roll. I want to talk to you today about a smart city. What is it? A smart city is a framework predominantly composed of information and communication technologies, also called ICT, to develop, deploy, and promote sustainable development practices to address growing urbanization challenges. A big part of this is that this ICT framework is essentially an intelligent network of connected objects and machines that transmit data using wireless technology and the cloud. Cloud-based IoT applications receive, analyze, and manage data in real time to help municipalities, enterprises, and citizens make better decisions that improve quality of life. Citizens engage with smart city ecosystems in a variety of ways, using smartphones and mobile devices, as well as connected cars and homes. Pairing devices and data with the city's physical infrastructure and services can cut costs and improve sustainability. Think about a smart city as your home with the IoT within the IoT framework, but your home writ large. So it's a larger dimension. You have a compilation and an aggregation of different components, people, machinery, devices, sensors, chips. Communities can improve energy distribution, for example, streamline trash collection, decrease traffic congestion. So the whole traffic traffic jam, that's gone. And even improve air quality with the help from the IoT. For instance, connected traffic lights receive data from sensors and cars adjusting light cadence and timing to respond to real-time traffic, thereby reducing road congestion. Connected cars can communicate with parking meters and electric vehicle, charging docks, and direct drivers to the nearest available spot. Smart garbage cans can automatically send data to waste management companies and schedule pickup as needed versus on a pre-planned schedule. And citizens' smartphone becomes what? Their mobile driver's license and ID card with digital credentials. Something that will speed up and simplify access to the city and local government services. Together, all these smart city technologies are optimizing infrastructure, mobility, public services, and utilities. Now, why do we need smart cities in the first place? The main reason we need smart cities is urbanization. This is a non-ending phenomenon, unfortunately, and it's not unfortunately. It's just something we have to manage as a global population. Today, 54% of people worldwide live in cities, a proportion that's expected to reach 66% by 2050. Think about it. 2/3 of the world's population is living in cities. Combined with the overall population growth, urbanization will add another 25 billion people to cities over the next 3 decades. So you have concerns for the environment. So environmental, social, and economic sustainability is a must to keep if you want to keep pace with this rapid expansion that's unfortunately taxing our cities' resources. 195 countries in the whole world have agreed upon the agenda of the Sustainable Development Goals. That's a great one. You might want to read it. It's called SDGs, and they agreed to that in September 2015 at the United Nations. But there is one thing to ratify a decision like this, and there's another thing to apply it at the local level, right? We all know how centralized decisions and actions can take time, and the clock, unfortunately, is ticking. The good news is that citizens and local authorities are certainly more agile to launch swift initiatives, and smart city technology is essential to success in meeting these goals. How is IoT technology making cities smarter and better? IoT, Internet of Things. So, secure wireless connectivity and IoT technology are transforming traditional elements of city life. I'm talking about cities, things like street lights, into next generation intelligent lighting platforms with expanded capabilities. So the scope includes integrating solar power, for instance, and connecting to a cloud-based central control system that will automatically link to other assets in the ecosystem. These solutions shine far beyond lighting needs. So you have higher power embedded LEDs, alert commuters about traffic issues. They provide severe weather warnings and provide heads up when environmental, like fire, will arise. So streetlights can also detect free parking space and EV charging docks and alert drivers where to find an open spot via a mobile app. So charging might even be able to be faster here, right? So all of these things is very exciting if we can embrace it at the global level, right? So what makes smart cities successful? I will speak about that right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of City Q. We're also having a conversation today around what a smart city is. And if you love this kind of content and you love the clarity and quality of the content so far, please consider subscribing to our channel and turn on the notification bell so you are aware whenever we release a new show. We do this kind of stuff every single day, rain or shine. What makes cities, smart cities, successful? In addition to people, buildings, commerce, and traditional urban infrastructure, there are four main things, four essential elements necessary for thriving smart cities. You want pervasive wireless connectivity, open data, security you can trust in, and flexible monetization schemes. Let's just kind of break it down here, what we mean exactly. What's the best wireless technology for smart cities? The first building block of any smart city application is reliable, pervasive wireless connectivity. While there is no one-size-fits-all, evolving low-power wide area network, LPWAN, remember this term, LPWAN technologies are well suited to most smart city applications for their cost efficiency and ubiquity, according to experts. These technologies include LTE Cat-M, NB-IoT, Bluetooth, LoRa, and a few others that all contribute to the fabric of connected cities. The advent of 5G technology is expected to be a watershed event that propels smart city technology into the mainstream and accelerates new deployments, but only with a few more elements. Let's talk about the data vault here. Data is critical. Historically, governments, enterprises and individuals have held their data close to the pocket, sharing as little as possible with others, right? Privacy concerns and fear of security breaches have far outweighed the perceived value of sharing information. Nonetheless, a key enabler here of sustainable smart cities is that all participants in the complex ecosystem, they will share information. And by doing that, they are combining it with contextual data, environmental data, exogenous data that is analyzed in real time. This is how informed decisions are made in real time. Multiple sectors must cooperate to achieve better, sustainable outcomes through the analysis of real-time contextual information, and this in turn can be shared among sector-specific information and operational technology. Let me just break it down. Let me give you an example or two or three. Let's take New York City. So you will find below a great example. The New York City Department of Transportation's Midtown in Motion is a congestion management system that has improved travel times on the avenues in Midtown by 10%. And that's a lot. In New York, if you've ever been to Midtown New York, around Port Authority, 42nd Street, 43rd Street, all the way to 50th Street, around Times Square, you know how congested the traffic is. So the NYS Challenge Initiatives from New York City Mayor Office invites entrepreneurs, technologists, and tech professionals to participate in open competitions and propose bold ideas that solve real urban needs such as pollution, income inequality, and transport. You have another initiative in New York City, Link NYC. This program provides free, super fast, free Wi-Fi, phone calls, device charging, and a tablet for access to city services, maps, and directions. This is a unique communications network replacing payphones across the Bronx, Brooklyn, Manhattan, Queens, and Staten Island, the 5 boroughs of the city. Cyber NYC is another strategic investment to dominate cybersecurity. It seeks to grow New York City's cybersecurity workforce, help companies drive innovation, and build networks and community spaces. You also have biking, for instance, biking in New York City. You have automated water meters in New York City. So those consist of small devices connected to individual water meters. They send daily readings to a computerized billing system. You also have another one, New York's Data Report, Open Data for All. This provides free public data published by a range of local agencies. So this tool opens data for people to make a difference in their community, including educators, students, artists, builders, small business owners, entrepreneurs, advocates, reporters, community board members. It also means open data for the 300,000 workers who make New York City safer, cleaner, and more equitable. So I'm just giving you all the benefits you might have in a smart city like New York. Let's move on to Europe now. Let's talk about Amsterdam, because Amsterdam has a similar profile. Amsterdam Smart City. This is basically by far a shining example of a well-connected smart city that is reaping the rewards of opening the data vault. The Smart City Initiative began in 2009 and included over 170 projects. In particular, it shares traffic and transportation data to interested parties such as developers who then create mapping apps that connect to the city's transport system. Now, navigating the city is just very easy. The city built autonomous delivery boats called robots to keep things moving in a timely fashion. It also supported a floating village of houses, solving the city's overcrowding problem with a sustainable, energy-efficient alternative. Power is generated within communities, and homes receive water straight from the river and filter it within their tanks. So none of this, if you think about it, will not be possible without shared data. Let's move on again to another city, Copenhagen, Denmark. Now, this city is known as one of the smartest cities in the world and mobilizes expertise worldwide. The city is leveraging open data in its collaboration with MIT to develop an innovative smart bike system. So embedded with sensors that provide real-time information to both the riders and administrators, data is automatically shared to monitor and manage air quality and traffic congestion. So while data sharing is essential, opening the vault also expand the cyber attack surface area. So let's just talk now a little bit about security and how we can keep the data private from the masses while sharing it among stakeholders. I'll be right back. Right after this, don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweetie Keyword. We are still talking today around the wonderful topic of smart city, and I want to talk to you about security and data privacy. The big question is, can smart cities be secured and trusted? So connected cameras, intelligent road systems, and public safety monitoring systems can provide an added layer of protection and emergency support to help citizens when needed. But what about protecting smart cities themselves from vulnerabilities, hacking, cyber theft? How can we defend against cyber attacks and data theft? In cities where multiple participants are sharing information, how do we ultimately trust that participants are who they say they are, right? And how do we know the data they report is true and accurate? Now, let's talk about this. These questions are seminal And the answers lie in physical data vaults and strong authentication and ID management solutions. Smart cities can only work if all citizens, all of us, all stakeholders trust them. So there are experts have done research, including experts at MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology. They have come up with 4 core security objectives. So availability. So without actionable, real-time, and reliable access to data, the smart city can't thrive. So how information is collected, distilled, and shared is critical, and security solutions must avoid negative effects on availability. Next to availability, you have integrity. So smart cities depend on reliable and accurate data. So measures must be taken to ensure the data is accurate and free from manipulation. Third, confidentiality. Some of the data that is collected, stored, and analyzed will include sensitive details about consumers themselves, right? So governments and experts worldwide are making sure to prevent unauthorized disclosure of sensitive information. And the last part is accountability. So users of a system must be ultimately, if you think about it, they must be ultimately responsible for their actions, because their interactions with sensitive systems should be logged and associated with a specific user. These logs should be difficult to forge and have reliable integration and integrity protection. For the industry and municipalities and government to achieve the security core objectives, strong authentication and IT management solutions need to be integrated into the ecosystems to ensure that data is shared only with authorized parties. The big thing here is that because these solutions also protect backend systems from intrusions and hacking. The good thing is now that we have this sort of solutions out there, legislation fortunately is being introduced to address threats and a potential market failure. So you have things like the IoT Cybersecurity Improvement Act in the United States. This is a great way forward. This will help to establish minimum security requirements for connected devices. Now, let's talk about monetization. How do we monetize smart cities? How do we make sure the system is sustainable, is self-sustainable? In the age of the IoT and smart cities, data becomes a new oil. Think about it, right? You are on Facebook. Facebook is free. All those social media are free, but your data is part of the currency. That's the currency. So for smart cities to thrive, we need something similar. We need to establish sustainable commerce model, business models that facilitates the success of all players. The software must be woven into the fabric of IoT solution so that everybody who contributes thinks it's a win-win. I'm talking here about the OEMs, the governments, the integrators, the developers. Each member's intellectual property needs to be valued and rewarded. So subscription software capabilities enable new business models that allow each contributor to extract value from their contribution to the system. You can have subscription-based models that offer a way to monetize hardware and software used to build smart infrastructures and spread out expenses, moving away from a huge one-time capital expenditure. Expensive medical equipment like MRI scanners, for example, can be sold at a cost per scan basis rather than as a one-time upfront expense for hospitals. So this creates a win-win situation for hospitals and suppliers alike, right? And very soon, in the next 5-10 years, cities will offer affordable subscriptions to fleets of vehicles shared between owners who may choose from an area of custom options. This move, think about it, could radically reduce traffic and optimize traffic patterns and ride sharing. So as urban areas continue to expand and grow, smart cities technology is developing alongside to enhance sustainability and better serve humanity. I'll be right back right after this. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back, folks, to another edition of Sweaty Q. We are finally at the end of near the end of today's conversation, and I want to give you more cool stuff on the smart cities. And those are just great. When we were doing research, we found those stats, and we just love them. The top 10 smart cities in the world: London, New York, Amsterdam, Paris, Reykjavik, Tokyo, Singapore, Copenhagen, Berlin, Vienna, and this is according to Forbes, May 21st, 2019. The top 10 smart cities in the United States: New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, San Francisco, Washington, Boston, Miami, Phoenix, Dallas, and San Diego. And this was a compilation by the IESE Business School, Cities in Motion 2019. Let's talk about the best smart cities in the UK. Milton Keynes, Glasgow, Nottingham, Cambridge, Bristol, London, Manchester, Birmingham, Leeds. This was by Computer World, May 2019. India's Smart Cities Mission, the Indian government's program for smart city development. And the smart cities in India are really growing far. They're really growing every day. You also have a great initiatives in Europe, the European Innovation Partnership on Smart Cities and Communities, also great. And you have, according to Tech Republic of 2016, August, the 6 essential technology that makes smart cities. You have smart energy, transportation, data, infrastructure, mobility, devices. All right. Thank you so much for listening to today's conversation. I really appreciate it. I'm going to quickly give you a recap of today's show. What is a smart city? Why do we need smart cities? How is IoT technology making cities smarter and better? What makes smart cities successful? What's the best wireless technology for smart cities? In terms of data, how do we learn? I give you a few examples of smart cities, including New York, Amsterdam, and Copenhagen. Can smart cities be secured and trusted? So I talked about the 4 core security objectives. And finally, I was speaking about monetization. I appreciate your help. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your attention. Thank you so much. I'll see you next time. But until then, remember, stay marvelous.